Yeah, it's preparing to go live, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you'll have to go to Leelananda's channel and you'll see me live there.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you see me? Yeah. Am I live? Can you see me?
Yes, Prabhuji, you are live now.
Okay, great. Yeah, Haribo. Yeah. Okay, done. Okay, so we are going to sing a Braj Bhajan. Okay, Braj Bhajan means, it will be like crazy about Radha and Krishna. Okay, so one line is about Radharani, one line is about Krishna. Okay, one line about Radharani, one line about Krishna. So Radharani is special in this way, Krishna is special in this way. So there is a competition that's going to happen now, transcendental competition. Okay, so what I request you all is don't sing with me, sing the second time when I'm singing. Okay, but you all sing, you'll really enjoy this. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Yes. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So the introductory verse has a different tune, and then the following verses have a similar tune, right? So like the first verse here, I'll sing it once, you'll know the tune. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Here, when you're singing Krishna, you're not saying Krishna, you say Kisna. Kisna, it's like the Braj way of calling, Krishna's name, Krishna, very informal, right? Anyway, we're not Brajvasis, we're not trying to enact them, but just that we are singing the bhajan in their tone. Okay, so this verse will keep repeating. The verse number 1 will keep repeating after every verse, second, third, fourth. Every time you finish the verse, you go and do the first verse again. So I'll start with the introductory verse, and you can repeat after me, not with me, as I said, right? You all can see the bhajan on your screens clearly.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Nava Nava Rangi Tribhangi Jaya Shama Suvangi Shama. Everybody. Nava Nava Rangi Tribhangi Jaya Shama Suvangi Shama. जय राधे जय हरि प्रिय श्री राधे सुख धाम. Everybody. जय राधे जय हरि प्रिय श्री राधे सुख धाम. जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे. Come on. जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे. जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा. जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा. श्याम गौरी नित्य किशोरी प्रीतम जोरी श्री राधे. श्याम गौरी नित्य किशोरी प्रीतम जोरी श्री राधे. रसिका रसीलो शैला चबीलो गुणगर बीलो श्री कृष्णा. रसिका रसीलो शैला चबीलो गुणगर भीलो श्री कृष्णा. टुगेदर. जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे. जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा बोलो जय कृष्णा 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 जय श्री कृष्णा रस विहारिणी रस विसतारिणी प्रिय उरधारिणी श्री राधे रस विहारिणी रस विसतारिणी प्रिय उरधारिणी श्री राधे नव नव रंगी नवलात्रि भंगी श्याम सुअंगी श्री कृष्णा नव नव रंगी नवरात्रि भंगी श्याम सुअंगी श्री कृष्णा जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे राधे
जय राधे जय श्री
राधे जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा प्राण पियारी रूप उज्जयारी अति सुकुवारी श्री राधे प्राण पियारी रूप उज्जयारी अति सुकुवारी श्री राधे मैना मनोहर महमोदकर सुंदर बरतर श्री कृष्णा मैना मनोहर महमोदकर सुंदर बरतर श्री कृष्णा जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा शोभ सैनी मोभमैनी कोकिल भैनी श्री राधे एवरीबॉडी शोभ सैनी
भवानी कोकिल बहिनी श्री
श्री राधे कीरतिवंता कामिनी कंता श्री भगवंता श्री कृष्णा कीरतिवंता कामिनी कंता श्री भगवंता श्री कृष्णा जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री
श्री
राधे
राधे
जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा चंद बदिनी कुंदरदिनी शोभसदिनी श्री राधे चंद बदिनी कुंदरदिनी शोभसदिनी श्री राधे परम उदारा प्रभ अपारा अति सुकुवारा श्री कृष्णा परम उदारा प्रभा पारा अति सुकुवारा श्री कृष्णा जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा हम सगविनी रजति रविणी क्रीडा कविनी श्री राधे हंस गविनी राजति रविणी क्रीडा कवनी श्री राधे रूप रसाला नैन बिसाला परम कृपाला श्री कृष्णा रूप रसाला नैन बिसाला परम कृपाला श्री कृष्णा जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा 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 जय श्री कृष्णा कंचन बेली रतिरसरेली अति अलबेली श्री राधे कंचन बेली रतिरसरेली अति अलबेली श्री राधे सब सुख सागर सब गुण आगर रूप उजागर श्री कृष्णा सब सुख सागर सब गुण आगर रूप उजागर श्री कृष्णा जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा रवणी रम्या तरतरतम्या गुण अगम्या श्री राधे रवणी रम्या तरतरतम्या गुण अगम्या श्री राधे धाम निवासी प्रभ प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्णा धाम निवासी प्रभ प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्णा जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा शक्त्यहलादिनी अतिप्रियवादिनी उर उन्मादिनी श्री राधे शक्त्यहलादिनी अतिप्रियवादिनी उर उन्मादिनी श्री राधे अंग अंग तौना सरस सलौना शुभग सुतौना श्री कृष्णा अंग अंग तौना सरस सलौना शुभग सलौना श्री कृष्णा जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा राधनामिनी गुणाभिरामिनी हरिप्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे राधनामिनी गुणाभिरामिनी हरिप्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्णा everybody हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे 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 श्री कृष्णा जय राधे जय Radhe Radhe, Jai Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe, Jai Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe, Jai Krishna Jaya Krishna Krishna, Jai Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna, Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jaya Shri Krishna. Everybody, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jai Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna. Jai Krishna, Jaya Shri Krishna. Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Shri Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Shri Krishna, Nava Nava Rangi. Tribhangi Jaya Shama Suvangi Shama Navanavarangi Tribhangi Jaya Shama Suvangi Shama Jaya Radhe Jaya Hari Priye Shri Radhe Sukhadama Jaya Radhe Jaya Hari Priye Shri Radhe Sukhadama Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Hari Bol Hare Krishna. Did you all enjoy the bhajan?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this is
Yes,
the
Prabhuji.
Vrajas.
Prabhuji.
It's a crazy bhajan. Where everybody is singing about Radha, everybody is singing about Krishna, everybody happy in their own way. Right? So I'll tell you, first time when I heard this bhajan, I met my spiritual master the first time in person when I heard this bhajan. So I was in Boston and it was my birthday, November 23rd. And my Siksha Guru told me that His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is coming to Boston and he's giving a lecture in Harvard University. And I was like, whoa, Harvard University, I'll go once. I was in Boston but never went to these places. So he was giving a lecture there. And so I said, okay, I'll go. So I went to this place. I was sitting in this big hall and there comes this sannyasi in orange robes. I had read his book Journey Home. I was a big fan of his already. And then he came and he started singing this bhajan in Harvard. Can you imagine? This Braj bhajan he was singing in Harvard, and all the deans and professors and Americans, Indians, everybody was sitting and listening to him, and he was enjoying the bhajan as if nobody exists in the hall. He is singing for himself. He's completely in his own ecstasy. That's what many of the sannyasis in ISKCON do, like Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Lokanath Swami Maharaj. There are so many sannyasis, they all sing bhajans in their own, in their own world, and they are simply enjoying these bhajans. These are Braj bhajans, where the tune is very jolly and you make people dance and people dance and dance and dance. Throughout the day, they'll be dancing, singing Radha and Krishna's names, right? And the whole bhajan is about you are telling some qualities of Radharani, and immediately you're competing with the qualities of Krishna, and immediately Radharani's qualities are competing. So there is a whole competition going on between Gopas and Gopis, right? Singing the qualities of Sri Radha and Sri Krishna. And even now, when you go to Vrindavan, in Vrindavan, nobody calls Krishna's name, surprisingly. When you go to Vrindavan, you hear Radhe Radhe, right? Everywhere you get into auto, he'll say Radhe Radhe, Aja Aja, Radhe Radhe, right? Like that. Everywhere, even when they're driving a rickshaw and somebody comes on the way, they don't put the horn. They don't honk. They say, hey, Radhe Radhe, Hato Hato, Radhe Radhe, like that. Everywhere Radhe Radhe you'll hear in Vrindavan. But when you go to Barsana, Barsana is the place where Radharani grew up. There you hear Krishna, Krishna. Hey, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Like they say. So in Barsana, everybody is calling Krishna's name. In Vrindavan, everybody is calling Radha's name. So it's always, this mellow of Radha Krishna, which is even today, even today's day and time, you can see that in Braj, in the Chaurasi coast, the whole area of Braj, right? You often see these mellows. I'm not from Braj, unfortunately. Only most fortunate people take birth in Braj and its, surrounding villages. But we get to hear such bhajans when you visit Braj, right? Hare Krishna. So Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So now we'll do the most boring part, which is the Bhagavad Gita class. Okay. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshuro Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayan Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपा कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वतदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुकुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपाः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं श्री परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष साभ्याभ्यन्तरं शुचे। श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। हरे कृष्णा चंद्रा प्रभु हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग ममता माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Ramesh Prabhu, how are you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. All good, Prabhuji.
All well, Hare Krishna. There are some more devotees who have joined. Yes. Hari Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you for joining. Tulsi Mataji and Raja Ramesh Prabhu, Hari Bol. Thank you for joining. Padma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Venkatesh Prabhu, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji and Mataji, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aruna Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. So it's so
Hare
wonderful
Krishna, Prabhuji.
to have all of you,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
have all of you again, in these classes. I'm really waiting when we will start associating physically again, coming together. But looks like Corona is really widely spreading right now.
Yeah.
Like literally every second person has Corona right now. That's what I heard. But anyway, it's mild, and I'm not hearing any big bad news. Like it's badly affecting people. Yes, some might be, but very less percentage. So I'm very happy to see all your families nicely healthy and recovered. So Raja Ramesh Prabhu, how are you doing, Prabhuji?
Good, Prabhuji.
All well?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So you've killed Corona again. Hare Krishna. Yes. So nice. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we will go to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, 31. Most probably today we'll finish the third chapter. That's the goal. So in Karma Yoga, now Lord Krishna is talking about how to engage people in mode of goodness and mode of passion and even in mode of ignorance. So now in verse number 31, we read this last week, but we'll just read it again so it sets the right context. Wait a second, I'll have some water. Yeah. Yeme manta idam nityam. Please repeat after me. Yeme mantam idam nityam. You can unmute and repeat. I'll start again. Yeme mantam idam nityam. Anutishtanti manava.
Anusthitanti manava.
Shraddhavanto anasuyanto. Muchyante te api karmabhi. Yes. Translation, please repeat after me. Those persons who execute their duties
Those persons who execute their duties
according to my injunctions and who follow these teachings faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive actions. Yeah, so Lord Krishna is kind of in the last stage of Karma Yoga explanation, whereby he is explaining that there are different kinds of people. You should not stop people because they are in Tamoguna. They should also do, but we should engage them, slowly engage them, right? We should not stop people from acting like, stop this, stop that, stop that. You can't do that. So there are people in mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So everybody has to be engaged in Krishna conscious activities. Now here Lord Krishna is saying people in mode of goodness who are following his duty, performing the duties according to the injunctions of Shastra, that is according to the principles of Bhagavad Gita, they become free from fruitive results, fruitive actions and results, meaning they'll do action, they'll get a reaction. That and all will not happen. They'll become free of it. They will not do anything material going forward, right? So in purport, we'll just read it again. We read it last week, but I'm just reading it again. The injunction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the essence of all Vedic wisdom and therefore is eternally true without exception. As the Vedas are eternal, so this truth of Krishna consciousness is also eternal. One should have firm faith in this injunction without envying the Lord. There are many philosophers who write comments on the Bhagavad Gita but have no faith in Krishna. They will never be liberated from the bondage of fruitive action. But an ordinary man with firm faith in the eternal injunctions of the Lord, even though unable to execute such orders, becomes liberated from the bondage of the law of karma. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions of the Lord. But because one is not resentful of this principle and works sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, he will surely be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness. So here Lord Krishna is explaining very clearly that the people who are following his injunctions will surely achieve Krishna consciousness at a certain time, right? And we should not give up. We should have a lot of patience when we are dealing with ourselves. There will be so many habits, qualities, perspectives, conclusions, which are not pure right now, but they will get purified, provided we are following the principles of Krishna consciousness, right? Now we'll go to the next verse, 3.32, right? Please repeat after me. Yatve etad abhyasuyanto. You can unmute and repeat. I'll start again. Yatve etad abhyasuyanto.
Yatve
एतत् अभ्यासूयन्तो
Nanu tushtanti me matam.
नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम्
Nanu tishtanti me matam.
नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम्
Sarvajnana vimudhamstan.
सर्वज्ञानाविमूढांस्तान्
Sarvajnana vimudhamstan.
सर्वज्ञानविमूढांस्तान्
Vidhinashtan achetasa.
विधिनष्टान् चेतसः
Vidhinashtan achetasa.
विधिनष्टान् चेतसः.
Please repeat after me. Translation purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. Okay. So Lord Krishna is telling the importance of the teachings. Okay, the importance of teachings is being specifically told by Krishna that the people who don't follow it, what is going to happen with them? They will be bereft of knowledge. They will not have the right knowledge to lead a life. Next, they'll be befooled. Befooled means a fool is somebody who does activities which don't have any result. Resultless, aimless, goalless activities. So they're befooled for life. People who have taken a human birth, but they don't know how human birth is special as compared to animal birth. They don't know. They're just leading their life. They're earning, recognition, everything they're getting, but they're befooled, because they don't have the right spiritual knowledge. And ruined in their endeavors for perfection. Even though they're endeavoring for perfection, meaning some of them go to temples, some of them even take up services. But when it comes to learning Bhagavad Gita, they'll run away. They'll never want to learn teachings from God. Okay? Bhagavantuda, nu chala manchivadu, ikan noru moosko. Right? You are so great, God, but you shut your mouth because I don't want to listen what you're going to tell. I am happy being a devotee. I'll come to temple. I'll do my part. But you better don't speak. And even if you speak, I'll not listen. And I don't want to listen from any devotee. I don't want to read any scripture, but I'll go to temple every day. So such people also, their endeavors will not get any perfection. Meaning, even though they want to become God conscious, they will never become God conscious. Have you seen such people? All these three categories, Prabhuji and Matajis? You can see in open society, many of them, right? And we're not trying to find faults in others. We are also learning here. But when Supreme Lord is speaking, he knows that all these categories of people exist. Krishna knows. You don't have to tell Krishna, hey, Krishna, my neighbor is like that. You don't have to tell that. Krishna already knows your neighbor. And more than your neighbor, Krishna knows you also. How much you are fooling yourself or how much you are actually utilizing your human birth. Krishna knows. We can't cheat Krishna. We can't pretend to be a devotee. If you are not a devotee, Krishna will know that you are not a devotee. Okay. So here is very important to understand that everybody should be taught spiritual knowledge. Teachings are very, very important. Our children, our neighbors, brothers, sisters, parents, ourselves, first ourselves, then others, have to learn Bhagavad Gita and have to follow a life on the principles of Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay, now let's read the purport. The flaw of not being Krishna conscious is clearly stated here. As there is punishment for disobedience to the order of the Supreme Executive Head, so there is certainly punishment for disobedience to the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead. A disobedient person, however, great he may be, is ignorant of his own self and the Supreme Brahman Paramatma and the personality of Godhead due to vacant heart. Therefore, there is no hope of perfection of life for him. Okay. Now, one of the important things you can see here, is it mentioned what way people will be punished if they're not God conscious? Prabhuji?
No, Prabhuji.
It is not mentioned, right? Nothing like that. You say what Krishna is telling here, Bhaiya, follow my teachings, so he'll come back to me. If you don't follow, then you will remain ignorant. That's all he's saying, right? In our Sanatan Dharma, which is the highest, spiritual knowledge on the planet, and actually the not competitive with anything, because this is the word of God. It's not written by any human. Here we are not propagating that if you are not becoming a Sanatan Dharma, we should kill you, or we should destroy your temples of worship. We should destroy you. Nothing like that is being propagated. In fact, even within Sanatan Dharma, we are allowing people to be atheists. If you want to be atheist, no problem. What will happen if you're an atheist? See, what is the worst thing that can happen if you're an atheist? Anybody on the call? What is the worst thing that can happen if you're an atheist?
Taking birth again and again. Maybe.
Exactly. You'll take birth in Gachibowli again, right? And then you'll have house in Mayamavtar or some other place, right? Or you'll have a villa, or you'll have some big, mansion, and you'll have 2 cars. You'll have a good wife, good children. You'll have a good job, a horrible boss. You will struggle, work like a dog, day after day. You'll earn money. Then you'll have grandchildren. Then you'll clear your home loan. Then you'll clear your car loan. Then again you will die. That's what will happen. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll say foolish thing, isn't it? Kitne baar karoge bhaiya? How many of you remember that you already had ambassador in last life? Ambassador car. You all had ambassador car in last life. And some devotee was shouting outside your house, "Arey bhaiya, chant, become Krishna conscious, do your rounds." No, I don't have time. I have so much government work. I have this work, that work. What happened? Now you're taken birth again. You have a Hyundai car or some other car now. Right? Now, if you don't listen, you'll come back. And next time you'll have electric car. This will go on. Generation after generation, this will go on. You'll keep taking birth again and again. But a Krishna conscious devotee, we want to stop this cycle. Say, hey, what am I doing, Krishna? What am I doing in this planet? Taking birth again and again. Going to school again and again, doing the same homework again and again, getting beaten up by teachers again and again, then getting beaten up by boss again and again, then getting beaten up by wife or husband or children again and again, right? So many problems again and again. Why do I want to get into all this hassle? So he will not get into any activity which is not Krishna conscious. He will try to be very focused in his life. Right? But a non-Krishna conscious devotee will get into birth again. See, we don't say that go to hell if you're not following, what is that Christians, they preach, if you don't, surrender to Jesus, you'll go to hell. You're born in hell eternally like that. We don't speak that nonsense. We are very, Sanatan Dharma accommodates everybody. Whether in Tamoguna, Rajoguna, Satoguna, yeah, you'll take birth again. You can keep continuing. And if you do some bad activities, you may even take birth in animal kingdom, or you might take birth in lower planets or higher planets. So there is a provision for everybody to continue according to our choice. God is not somebody who punishes. We are the ones who are punishing ourselves. Understood? Sanatan Dharma never says God will punish. Sanatan Dharma says we are the ones who are punishing ourselves by continuing this cycle of birth and death. Right? Like Islamic scripture, they say you are kafir if you're not surrendering to Allah. Ya ilah Allah, if you're not surrendering to, Allah, then you are a, what do you call that? You're a kafir. You are somebody who has gone against God. So you all have to be killed. All your temples where deities are worshipped have to be broken. That's all. That's all very fanatic and very narrow-minded religion, unfortunately. But Sanatan Dharma is not like that. Sometimes we cannot compare the three, because one is talking about being accommodative and inclusive, Another one is just trying to be exclusive and fanatic, right? I'm not saying every Muslim or every Christian thinks like that, but unfortunately, some forces are making them think like that and creating a division in human society. Whereas human society is the same. For you, Vasudeva Kutumbam, we are all children of Krishna. Everybody, whether Muslim, Christian, Zoroastrian, believe it or not, non-believers and believers, both of them are children of Krishna only, right? Whether you believe in God also, whether you not believe in God also, still you are a child of God. That is how we understand, right? So here it is being told that people who don't go through the teachings of Krishna will be ignorant. They'll just remain ignorant. They'll keep continuing their, cycle of birth and death. Right. So any questions here, Prabhuji and Matajis? Okay, we are good. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So next, now Lord Krishna, see, one thing Lord Krishna is telling again and again to Arjuna is, you have to act. You cannot sit there and say, I will not act. You cannot sit there and say, I'll become a sadhu. You cannot sit there and say that I have pardoned, I have forgiven these people, so I'll not act. No, that is not allowed. And Lord Krishna is not only telling to act for the people in the mode of goodness, even for the people in the mode of ignorance, tamoguna or rajoguna, passion, they also have to act because they have been given a nature, right? See, we have been given a nature, and if we just execute that nature, we'll get purified. So Krishna knows better what nature we should get, whether we should be a Brahmana kind of nature or a Shudra kind of nature or a Kshatriya kind of nature or a whatever, the right nature that we need is given by Krishna, and we should act according to that nature. And just by acting according to that nature, you will get purified. All the things will happen in your life. Say if you have a nature of a administrator and a warrior and a king, so Krishna will give you that kind of nature, that kind of body, and that kind of mode of nature will influence you, and you will eventually perform those activities in those lines and get purified. You'll become purified that way, right? All the people who fought the battle of Kurukshetra, they all got purified. They all were Kshatriyas. Ultimately, they all went back to God. So whatever our nature is, we should act according to that nature. And that nature is given by Krishna. This is the topic that Krishna will end Karma Yoga with. The coming verses will be mostly dealing with this, right? So please repeat after me, 3.33. Sadrisham chestate swasya.
Sadrisham
Sadrusham chestate swasya.
Sadrisham chestate swasya.
Sadrusham chestate swasya.
Prakritir jnanavan api.
Prakrute jnanavanapi.
Prakritir jnanavan api.
Prakrute jnanavanapi.
Prakritim yanti bhutani.
Prakritim yanti bhutani.
Prakritim yanti bhutani.
Prakritim yanti bhutani.
Nigraha kim karishyati.
Nigraha kim karishyati.
Nigraha kim karishyati.
Nigraha kim karishyati.
Translation. Please repeat after me. Even a man of knowledge
Even a man of knowledge
acts according to his own nature.
acts according to his own nature.
For everyone follows the nature
For everyone follows the nature.
he has acquired from the three modes.
Acquired from the three modes.
What can repression accomplish?
What can repression accomplish?
Right? So Lord Krishna is telling that don't try to repress yourself. Don't try to shackle yourself that I'm not going to do anything now. I'm going to stay calm. I'm not going to behave like this. I mean, I'm just going to ask a sincere question to most of you, Prabhuji and Matajis. When there is a fight between husband and wife, I mean, I'm sure every house has its own version, but suddenly the husband says, I will not do that. Have you ever achieved that? Huh? Or wife says that, tomorrow onwards, I'll not do this. No, I'll not do. Enough is enough. Pura zindagi I'll not do. Have ever wife you achieved that?
Never.
Never. It's not possible. Donkey is a donkey, monkey is a monkey. You cannot, donkey cannot become monkey, monkey cannot become donkey. Whatever we are, we are. You can't help it. That's your nature. Some people are extroverts, some people are introverts. You go and put an introvert in a grinder, full piece of him and still open, he'll be introvert only. You move him like anything, still he'll be introverted. He'll not speak. Expressionless. He'll be like that only. You can't do anything. You have to deal with it. And the extrovert, no matter how many plasters you put on his mouth, he will speak. Whichever way he'll speak, he'll continue to speak. Right? So you can't change the nature of people, is what Krishna is saying. So you have a nature. Don't try to repress yourself, saying that, oh, I will not do this, I will not do that. No, you will do something. So, for example, I was speaking to Ramesh Prabhu. If I have to quote Prabhuji, please don't mistake me. Prabhuji is the administrator. If I have to, I'm not judging anybody, but I see him as somebody like a leader. I'm talking Ramesh Prabhu, Kameshwari Mataji's husband, right? So he's like, he wants to get things done. This, that, this. So he was in a role in the temple getting things done, right? Now, you can't make such a person stay calm. He can't stay calm because he has in him, some people have it in them that they will go forward and they'll do things. So I was telling Prabhuji, please continue to do what you're doing, no matter what happens, around. Just keep doing what you're doing, because that's something that Krishna has given you, right? Some people play leadership roles and they have to play leadership roles. If they are not playing leadership roles, then the society cannot be properly managed, right? And some Matajis have some leadership roles. Matajis also have Varnas, right? Some Mataji is a Kshatriya, some Mataji is a Vaishya, some Mataji is a Shudra, some Mataji is a Brahmana. You have to, along with being a mother, you also have to do those Varna related activities. Then only you'll be happy. You cannot suppress it. You cannot say that, oh, you have to sit at home and just take care of your children. No. If you have a Varna of a Kshatriya, then you have to be a manager. Within the home also, you can be a manager. Within the family also, you can be a manager. And in the family business, you can be a manager, right? Or you can be a Kshatriya, you can be a Vaishya. And so is Prabhuji's, It's not about just doing the work outside. It's also about the work that you do inside. That Varna is something that you have to recognize in yourself. You all have to put some effort and recognize that Varna. And as Lord Krishna is saying, don't repress that Varna. Instead, express that Varna. Right? Properly execute, use that Varna in service of Krishna. Right? Did everybody understand? Any questions here? Okay. So I'll go to the purport. Yeah. Purport. Please focus as I read the purport. Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness, he cannot get free from the influence of the modes of mental nature, as it is confirmed by the Lord in the 7th chapter, 7.14. Therefore, even for the most highly educated person on the mundane platform, it is impossible to get out of the entanglement of Maya simply by theoretical knowledge or by separating the soul from the body. There are many so-called spiritualists who outwardly pose as advanced in the science, but inwardly or privately are completely under particular mode of nature, which they are unable to suppress. Academically, one may be very learned, but because of his long association with material nature, he is in the bondage. Krishna consciousness helps one to get out of the material entanglement, even though one may be engaged in the prescribed duties in the terms of the material existence. Therefore, without being fully Krishna conscious, one should not give up the occupational duties. One should not suddenly give up his prescribed duties and become so-called yogi or transcendentalist artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and try to attain Krishna consciousness under superior training. Thus, one may be freed from the clutches of Krishna's Maya. Right? Here, Prabhupada is very clearly explaining that don't try to change what you're doing. Try to give a meaning to it by thinking why you're doing. Right? Why you're doing is something that you should be very, very clear about. I'm doing this to please Krishna. I'm doing this to please, take care of my family so that all my family will become devotees. Bring Krishna in the center of all your activities, but don't stop doing activities, right? If you stop doing activities, you cannot be happy. You have to do. For example, me and my wife used to like to go on trips, lot of trips. We would never leave a weekend, empty. Even before we were Krishna conscious, we would just take, I used to have a kinetic bike and she would sit down and we'd go around Hyderabad. or we'll go around some new place, something we'll discover, some corner we'll go, get into trouble, whatever we'll do, but we'll never stay at home. Weekend means we'll go out, right? Now, after becoming Krishna, what to do? Can I change that nature within us? We cannot change that nature. Now, what to do? Now we are going to devotees' houses. Now we are going to temples. Now we are going to different holy places. Now we are going, and along with many others, we are going around, right? So what did we do? We just changed our, what we are doing, why we are doing is to please Krishna, but we are continuing to do what we are doing, right? Bringing Krishna into our activities. I'm just giving an example of my own example. And you all also will have similar example. Like somebody likes to speak. Somebody is a very good orator, a motivational speaker. You can speak about Krishna. Become a person who can share the Vedic knowledge. You are a leader in your office. Everybody listens to you. You know how to engage people when you're speaking. So why don't you utilize that skill to speak about Bhagavad Gita, right? Whatever you're learning on a weekly basis, you can go and teach others. Preacher doesn't have to be, preacher is a word, taken very negatively. But what does preacher do? Preacher just shares what he's getting. So when you're getting spiritual knowledge, you share that knowledge to others. So you're a preacher of Krishna. There is no other special qualification needed. The only thing is that you have to repeat the knowledge as it is without doing any khichdi or, adding your own, examples with, unrelated examples. You can add, you can subtract, but it should be the fundamental should not change. So you can utilize your speaking skills in service of Krishna. Instead of saying, I'm speaking too much, I'll shut my mouth. There are some institutions, so-called spiritual institutions, which will tell, okay, go to that place, don't speak for 4 days. They say that you're speaking too much, you should control your speech, then only you can control your mind. There are actually people who follow such institutions. They go to there and they sit there for 4 days, they'll not speak anything. Tell me what is more beneficial, not speaking anything or speaking about Krishna? What will purify you? What will purify you is actually speaking about Krishna, right? Instead of saying that I'll not speak, because what will happen eventually, you'll not speak for those 4 days. Then on the 5th day, you will speak for all the 5 days on the single day. Simply you will blabber, everything that you wanted to say, you'll go ahead and speak. So instead of saying don't sing, for example, somebody likes material songs, right? I like material songs, Mohammad Rafi, Kishore Kumar, big fan, Mukesh. I have big, series of cassettes. I like music. And I like singing music. I like singing all those songs, some passionate songs, some this thing, that thing. I used to do all that as a college boy, as in the office before coming to Krishna Consciousness. I used to do all that. Now, will you ask me to suppress, saying, Prabhuji, aisa gayega to ganda hai, muh band karo? Or you'll tell, sing some bhajans. What is better? Singing bhajans or shutting your mouth?
Singing bhajan.
Right? So that's a better thing to do. So that is what is Krishna consciousness all about. Don't try to repress your nature. Try to express your nature, keeping Krishna in the center. Right? When you are totally advanced in Krishna consciousness, automatically you'll become silent. You'll understand what's going on. You can see the whole material world for what it truly is. Right? And your desire to go into spiritual world will automatically increase. That and all, let it naturally happen. We don't have to, like, for example, at very advanced sadhus, they are very calm by nature, because now they are at a stage where they can see what is beneficial, what is not beneficial, whom to talk to, whom not to talk to, what is the most important thing to do in life. They all have that idea. But we, in the initial stages, cannot become calm like them. And don't try to artificially endeavor and try to become like them. Come to satsang and as if you're a great sadhu and you're come to completely control your senses. As soon as you go outside satsang, you're going everywhere. So don't try to artificially impose something that you are not. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Whatever your nature is, engage that nature in Krishna conscious activities. And whatever Krishna has to make out of you, he will anyway make. Okay. So let's go further. Yeah. 3.34. Repeat after me. Indriyasya arthe.
Indriyasya arthe.
Indriyasya arthe.
Indriyasya arthe.
Raga Dvesho Vyavasthitau.
Ragadvesha
Raga Dvesho Vyavasthitau.
Ragadvesha vyavastitau.
Vyavasthitau.
Tayornavasam Agachet.
Ayornavasam agachet.
Tayornavasam Agachet.
Ayornavasam agachet.
Tauhi Asya Paripathinau.
Tau hasya paripantinau.
Tauhi Asya Paripathinau. Translation, please repeat after me. There are principles to regulate attachment
There are principles
To regulate the attachment
and aversion
and
aversion
aversion
pertaining to the senses
pertaining to the senses
and their objects.
and their object.
One should not come under the control
one should not come under the control
of such attachment
of such attachment
and aversion
And
and
aversion.
aversion
because they are stumbling blocks
because they are stumbling blocks
on the path of self-realization.
On the path
of self-realization.
Right? So here there are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks in the path of self-realization. Here Lord Krishna is telling that you should not perform those abominable activities which will deteriorate your spiritual life. But how do you control them? By regulation. You can control them. You have to regulate your activities. You have to put some plan. You have to put some principle saying that I'll do this, I'll not do this. Henceforth, I will not do this. These things are very regulation rather than rejection, right? Regulated. We don't stop eating food. We start eating prasadam, right? Instead of saying eat less, say eat prasadam and regulate eating, right? Eat only sometimes in a day, something like that. Regulation is very important, spiritual life. Okay, let's read this purport. Those who are in Krishna consciousness are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratification. Please focus as I'm reading it, very important. Those who are in Krishna consciousness are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratification. But those who are in such consciousness should follow the rules and regulations of revealed scriptures. Unrestricted sense enjoyment is the cause of material engagement. But one who follows the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures does not become entangled by the sense objects. For example, sex enjoyment is a necessity for the conditioned soul, and sex enjoyment is allowed under the license of marriage ties. According to the scriptural injunctions, one is forbidden to engage in sex relationships with any woman other than one's wife. All other women are to be considered as one's mother. But in spite of such injunctions, a man is still inclined to have sex relations with other women. These propensities are to be curbed. Otherwise, they will be stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. As long as the material body is there, the necessities for the material body are allowed, but under the rules and regulations. And yet, we should not rely upon the control of such allowance. One has to follow those rules and regulations unattached to them, because practice of sense gratification under regulations may also lead one to go astray, as much as there is always a chance of an accident, even on the royal roads. Although they may be very carefully maintained, no one can guarantee that there will be no danger even on the safest road. The sense enjoyment spirit has been current at a very long time owing to material association. Therefore, in spite of regulated sense enjoyment, there is every chance of falling down. Therefore, any attachment for regulated sense enjoyment must also be avoided by all means. But attachment to Krishna consciousness or acting always in the loving service of Krishna detaches one from all kinds of sensory activities. Therefore, no one should try to be detached from Krishna consciousness at any stage of life. The whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of sense attachment is ultimately to become situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So very beautifully Prabhupada is explaining the spirit behind these verses, right? So here, Prabhuji and Mataji, try to understand. See, For example, let's take an example. Eating. Like we all like to eat. Who doesn't like to eat? Everybody likes to eat, right? Now, people eat vegetarian, people eat non-vegetarian, people eat, different things, whatever they wish to eat, sweets, milk, water, whatever is needed, they like to eat. Now, somebody, you cannot say reduce eating directly. You cannot tell people reduce eating, right? That people will not follow. Even if they follow, it's only temporary. Actually, for a spiritual person, for a proper yogi, for a proper fixed, highly advanced devotee, he should only eat once in a day. Simple. That's what your real nourishment your body needs. But you can't come and tell me that, Prabhu, you eat once in a day. Nobody will come to satsang. If I say that, what is this? You're telling me to eat once in a day. But that once in a day consciousness will come automatically when you get detached from sense enjoyment and when you are more focused on spiritual consciousness, right? It can't be artificially imposed. Are you all following what I'm saying? It can't be artificially pushed, saying eat once in a day. So what you have to do is start with regulated, meaning you say that, okay, eat 3 times in a day. Don't keep eating all the time. Eat 3 times in a day. You can have breakfast, you can have a lunch, a late lunch maybe, and an early dinner. These 3 things you can do, right? Eat at least, like that. And then next regulation is, don't eat things which will harm others and harm yourself, like non-vegetarian, eggs. And don't eat things which will increase tamoguna in you, which will induce tamoguna, like onion, garlic, mushrooms. They increase tamoguna in you. For people who want to practice spiritual life, they are not very favorable things to eat. I'm not saying they cannot be eaten. They can be eaten, but they're not favorable, right? They will keep bringing you down in a consciousness. So you put some regulations, right? Now somebody said, okay, you know what? I think, Prabhu, I'm following the regulations. I can eat now. That is also a problem. What Prabhupada is explaining here, even attachment to regulatory eating is a problem actually. Because the goal is what? Goal is to decrease eating. So you have to develop Krishna consciousness so that eventually your attachment to food is completely removed. And you are eating only for health, only for keeping a body upkeep. That's it. You're not really enjoying what you're eating, or you're not too much focusing on bodily enjoyment through eating. So there are 3 steps, Prabhuji. One is knowing what you're doing. Second is regulating what you're doing. And third is correcting what you're doing completely. Right? So this is a gradual process in Krishna consciousness. You can't really stop people from what they're doing. Did you all follow what we've discussed? Any questions? This audience is very nice. They don't ask any questions. We can discuss, a little, because I sometimes wonder, are you hearing, or because if you're hearing, you should get questions. No? Okay. I'll keep
No,
going.
Prabhuji, it is very clear. The message is very clear. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll do a thing. I'll confuse you a little, then you'll ask questions. Trying to be too clear is too boring. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's keep going first. Next verse. Hari Bol. Yeah. 3.35. Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna.
Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna.
Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna.
Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna.
Paradharmat Svi Anustitat.
Paradharma Svi Anushtitat.
Paradharmat Svi Anustitat.
Paradharmat Anushtitat.
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya.
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya.
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya.
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya.
Paradharmo Bhayavaha.
Paradharmo Bhayavaha.
Paradharmo Bhayavaha.
Paradharmo Bhayavaha.
Yeah. So repeat after me translation. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties,
It is
It is
far
far
better
better
to
to
discharge
discharge
one's
one's prescribed duties,
even though faultily,
even though
faultily,
than another's duties perfectly.
than another's
than
duty.
another's duties perfectly.
Destruction in the course of performing
Destruction in the
Destruction
course
in
of
the course of
performing
one's own duty
one's own duty
is better than engaging
is
is
better than
better than
engaging
engaging
in another's duties.
in
another's
another's duty.
duties.
For to follow another's path is dangerous.
For to
For
follow another's path is
path
dangerous.
So Krishna is telling that according to your nature, you have a prescribed duty, like Shudra, Vaishya, Brahmana, or a mix of some of these, So understand your nature and perform your duty according to that. You trying to perform somebody else's duty is very dangerous. Why dangerous? Because you will not, first of all, perform them for a long time because it's not your nature, right? It's not your nature to do those. And you will not achieve your goal of life. Trying to pretend somebody that you are not, you cannot continue for too long and you will actually not achieve any result out of it, right? Let's read the purport. One should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than those prescribed for others. Materially prescribed duties are duties enjoined according to one's psychological condition under the spell of the modes of material nature. Spiritual duties are as ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Krishna. But whether material or spiritual, one should stick to his prescribed duties even up to death, rather than imitate others' prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform and duties on the material platform may be different, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performer. When one is under the spell of the mode of material nature, one should follow the prescribed rules for his particular situation and should not imitate others. For example, a Brahmana who is in the mode of goodness is non-violent, whereas a Kshatriya is in the mode of passion and is allowed to be violent. As such, for a Kshatriya, it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence rather than to imitate a Brahmana who follows the principles of non-violence. Everyone has to cleanse his heart, by a gradual process, not abruptly. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the Kshatriya may act as a Brahmana or a Brahmana may act as a Kshatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinctions of the material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later on he acted as a Brahmana, whereas Parashurama was a Brahmana, but later on he acted as a Kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so. But as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At the same time, he must have full sense of Krishna consciousness. Right? So, Prabhuji and Matajis, here, Lord Krishna is very clearly explaining that you should act according to your nature. Why is he saying it so many times again and again? Because who gave you that nature? Krishna only gave you that nature. According to your priorities, perspectives, your conclusions, he gave you that nature. And he also planned that according to this nature, I am giving these activities for him and he performs that, he'll get purified. Whereas if you try to suddenly get inspired for somebody else's nature, then you cannot achieve what you are planned for. You cannot achieve what Krishna planned for you like that, right? See, for example, non-violence. Non-violence means I will not hurt others. I will not physically abuse anybody. I will not raise my hand on anybody, right? So that is a principle. Principle of non-violence is there, right? That it should not be done. Violence meaning even physical, mental, whatever. Principle of non-violence is agreeable. Ahimsa paramo dharma. That is there. But at the same time, when there is a need, you should pick up your hand. That is also there. That is also dharma. So there are some people who have to pick up their hands. There are some people who will not pick up their hand, right? But you cannot go and suppress everybody that, don't pick up your hand. Non-violence is our movement. That is also nonsense. That is not the way it works. Some people understand only when some activities are done. Everybody doesn't understand by when you say, right? In Telugulo antaru, gaadidiki kattane kavali, barre kattane kavali. Manishiki మాట చాలు. For a man, you can by speaking word, he should understand. But an animal needs a stick. You can't talk to animal saying that, okay, sit down, get up, and it will do like that. Maybe some dog does, but most of the animals don't. When you come in front of a tiger, you can't talk to a tiger. Either you have to run or shoot it. Simple. Isn't it? You can't sit there and say, ahimsa paramadharma. No, it will not work like that. So everybody has a nature, and you have to use that nature according to time, place, and circumstance. You cannot be somebody else in all circumstances. You have to know your nature. And according to that, you should act on it. For example, if your husband is very aggressive in what he's doing, his nature is like that. So he should take up a profession where he can use that aggression for the right cause. Doesn't mean it's a license to be aggressive all the time, right? You have that nature, utilize that nature at a certain time, right? At the same time, if somebody is being aggressive, you cannot go and tell him, hey, being aggressive is bad. He has the capacity and the nature to be like that. So he's going to be like that. The only thing is that for what is being aggressive? For what is being aggressive? That is very important. So not acting according to your nature when there is a need also is violence. Like Arjuna choosing not to do war is more violence than he doing the war. He is a Kshatriya. He is the right person to punish the opposite, kings. And he is chosen by Krishna to do that. And now he's saying that I'll become a Brahmana. I'll go and do some bhajan. What is I'll become a Jnani. I will not do my Kshatriya dharma. That is more violence. Right? In simple words, children.
Army job, example.
Children are okay. Yeah. So children, they have to listen to their parents, right? But some children are notorious. Now, does it mean that you'll allow the children to do what they're doing and say that ahimsa parama dharma? My father or a mother, I'll not, I should not raise my hand, raise my voice and do anything. No, it doesn't worry. You're a parent. You're a parent, and a parent has a responsibility of correcting his child. If you don't correct your child, then police will correct your child one day. You want the police to do it or you want to do it? You have to do it. But I'm not saying that's a license to, beat up your children all the time. But when there is a need, you have to raise that hand. There's nothing wrong. You have to raise that word. There's nothing wrong. But you should understand, and the child also has to understand that my father is raising hand because I've done something wrong. My father is raising his voice because I've done something wrong. And I have to understand that and take that as a correction. And that applies even when you're 20-year-old or 25-year-old also. Your parent will correct you until you are there. Your guru will correct you until you are there. Vyasadev, think about Vyasa. The great Vyasa who has written all the Vedas. He is being corrected by Narad Muni, his spiritual master, after he finished writing Vedas. So is that insulting Vedas? Is that insulting Vyasadev? No, it's not insulting. He is doing his job. Narada is correcting Vyasadev that, hey, you have written all the Vedas. But where is Bhagavatam? Where is the sweetness of God? Where is it captured? So Guru can correct his disciple even till the nth stage. Parashurama chose to do a war with Bhishma. Isn't it violence? But a Guru said, if you're not going to follow my order, then take your weapon. We have to do a war. When that Amba came to marry Bhishma, Bhishma said, I'm not going to marry. Amba went to Parashurama. She persuaded him. So even a war was needed. A war was done. They both had blood on their bodies. And finally, he got defeated by Bhishma. Chose to be defeated by Bhishma rather, to glorify Bhishma. And then he said, okay, Bhishma, you can do what you want to do. So, Prabhupada and Mataji, we should understand the meaning of word violence. We should understand the meaning of a lot of these things that we have created an impression by media that bad, good, everything. Everything has to be what varna you have, what is your nature, and what is the role that you're playing, right? A role you're playing is very, very important. as a parent, especially as a parent, the biggest role that we have is, first of all, we becoming Krishna conscious and teaching Krishna conscious to our children. You won't believe, Prabhuji and Mataji, there is so much arrogance and impatience in children today. Impatience, so much arrogance. And it has to be corrected. Who is going to correct it? You have to correct it. Otherwise, they will not be successful in life. You have to teach your children to be respectful. You have to teach your children to be patient. I'll tell you a simple example. Not that I'm trying to find fault in anyone. I'm just trying to tell an example. I was dropping my son to school. Right? When I was in Avatar, I was dropping my son to school. His school is in Gachibowli, Prerna World of School. So his classmate lives in Hallmark. Right? So he told me, Nana, whenever you're dropping me, can you drop my friend also? I said, okay, no problem. I can drop your friend. So their school starts at 8:15. Right? So we should at least be at the school by 8:05. At least I want to keep the 10-minute buffer. So at what time I have to start from Avatar? I have to start around 7:50 at least. Because Nanakaramguda Junction, you don't know. It can be free one day, it can be crowded one day. But generally at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's not crowded. So 10 minutes is a buffer time. So which means I work back that, I should start my car at 7:50. So I should leave from my house at 7:40. Right? It is 10 minutes waiting for the lift to come. And then I go down, start my car, go to Hallmark, pick up this kid along with my son, and then drop them in their school. So this is the planning, right? So it so happened that, we went at 7:40. My kid is my son is sitting. I went in front of Hallmark. It's already 7:50 and the child is not coming out. I asked, hey, Parth, did you tell your friend that it's time he should come? Because we all will get late to the school. My son said, Papa, don't worry, he'll come. So he came, but he came at 7:55. So 5 minutes of buffer, whatever I kept is already gone. So by the time I reached school, it was almost 8:10. Right? So 5 minutes before the school started, I have dropped them. Job is done. Okay, I said, okay, fine. Then next day, again, when I went to Hallmark, again it did not come till 7:55. And this time it went to 8. I'm sitting with my son in the car. I'm like, hey, did you tell your friend that he should come on time, because it will delay? He said, nah, I told Papa, I told. My son is getting worried that I'll scold his friend also. So, I'm keeping calm. I shouldn't scold anybody, it's the son, but I should keep calm, whatever it is. So when he came at 8 o'clock, then I just looked at him and said, Beta, come on time, because we both will get delayed. Everybody will get delayed. That's all I told. I didn't say anything more. Next day, the child is not coming. I asked my son, what happened to your friend? No, he told his parents will drop him. He told that he has taken care of his parents. I was shocked. Are you getting what I'm trying to tell? A small correction, advice that, please come on time because we both will get delayed, was also not acceptable for a 15-year-old boy. Right? Small correction from elder. I'm an elder, I'm his friend's father. Small correction. I'm not talking Greek and Latin provision Matajis. Don't think these kids jumping around and cycling around in our community are humble, noble, and patient. It's just a matter of you talking to them, because they are not being trained to be patient. They're not being trained to be respectful. They're not being trained to be humble. They're not being trained. And how do you train them to be humble, patient, and respectful? By your behavior, first, as a parent, and second, by telling them from stories from Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. All these stories are there to teach them the values. How many of these children are exposed to such kind of teachings, Prabhuji Matajis? And how many of the parents are patient? Our parents are fighting like cats and dogs. Election time, non-election time. I saw people beating up each other on, in front of the Central Park. 2 educated fellows with their children beside them. People are impatient. The other day, I went for getting booster vaccine for my mother. And one gentleman, old fellow, he must be like around 78 or 80 years old, my father's age. He started shouting at, the hospital workers, saying that, see, actually my mother, she had to take Covaxin. Sorry, what is it? Covishield, because she had earlier taken Covishield. And I was asking them, do they have Covishield and Covaxin? And they told, yes, we have both. Then I told them, okay, let me check once again what she had taken previously. Just want to be sure if she has taken Covishield or Covaxin. So I was checking that. And by the way, while I'm checking that, it's not that the place was vacant. Somebody else was getting vaccinated there. So still the vaccination is going on. After he gets up, then my mother has to go and sit. That person, old person behind, is so impatient. He started telling the doctors, sitting there who are giving, if you want to discuss, you go aside, go to the side and discuss. This is not a place for discussion. Keep the injections going. I was shocked. I just turned back and I said, sir, there is no vacant place there. They are still vaccinating. When they get up, I will go and my mother will go and sit and they, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. He told me, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. I said, if at 78 years old, you have not developed patience and tolerance in you, what could be your son and what could be your grandson? I mean, that is how we look at, right? A tree is known by its fruits, right? If you are like this, how you would have brought up your children and how your grandchildren are being brought up. People should increase patience when they grow in age.
Prabhuji, I have one
Grow with maturity, right? I mean, there are thousands of examples like this, but yeah, sorry. So speak.
Chandra.
Chandra Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
One day, while we are walking in the avatar, so somebody from 17th floor dropped one glass bottle. So we just so 2 feet away from ours. And then that time, the one old person every day morning 4, 5 o'clock, he will be walking with Hare Krishna tune.
I know, I have seen him.
I told him that somebody dropped the glass. Then he started using very bad words and shouting on those people. And I felt this old guy, like I was not using or scolding that person, but this is an old person every day hearing Hare Krishna. And he was scolding like anything, very bad words. Then I was wondering like how this person, old person, is using so many bad words and scolding that person. I was not using it. So
Prabhuji, two answers to that.
Prabhuji, we have so many legends like that in Avatar.
No. Okay. No. Let me also give a benefit of doubt. Is that, see, the old person might have led a life, like that for many, many years, right? Now he's trying to become Krishna conscious. At least he's hearing Hari Bhajan, right? I would still give him some marks because he's at least hearing Hari Bhajan. Yeah, he may not have control. He may not have gained control on his tongue yet, but someday there is a hope, na? By hearing that, someday there is a hope. So it's okay. I do agree that people practicing spiritual life should not behave like that. But we all have a conditioning, a past. A past cannot be unwritten in a single day, right? So it takes time. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Vishya vinivartante nirarasya deina rasavarjam rasavapyasyo param drishta nivartate. He says the taste for such things remain. So people don't become completely respectful and peaceful as soon as they start coming to satsangs, right? So I'm agreeing, Chandra Prabhu, that what he did is wrong. He should not have done that. He should not have. First of all, you don't need to use, but also understand that people come with a baggage. You don't know where he was working, what kind of a job that he was working in, what kind of work environment he was working in, and why those words were spontaneously coming to him. But for one to change those words, it takes a lot of time, sometimes a lifetime, sometimes many years of practice will make them come out of it. Is that okay, Chandra Prabhu?
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
I was trying to understand that example you told us. So he maybe, we don't know what is his background, and he was impatient. So I mean, I'm trying to tell you, like everyone is equally same. So
No,
We
you
don't know
cannot
what
say
is
everyone
happening.
equally same, because see,
I mean, they are also carrying same kind of karmas what they did, and then the way that their life they are carrying. So we cannot say that this person is right or this person is wrong, right? So in that view, we can say like
No,
he
no,
might
no.
be also reading Bhagavad Gita in his home. We don't know.
Yeah.
So here you are telling it because we see this guy is hearing some audio, then we are trying to say that he is trying to perfect, but that person might be also doing something at home.
Exactly, Prabhuji. See, what I'm trying to tell you here is, okay, let me give an example. There are two people who are sick. Meaning they are having fever or infection or something. One person is taking medicine, one person is not taking medicine. So who is in a better situation? Person taking medicine or person not taking medicine?
It depends upon their mindset.
No, I'm asking a simple question. You are sick, I am sick, we both are sick.
Okay.
Right? You are taking medicine, I'm not taking medicine. Who is in a better situation, me or you? Obviously you are taking medicine, Baba. One day you'll get cured, na?
Yeah, but
One
there is
day
a naturally also.
Prabhuji, let's not get into immunity, Ayurveda and all. I'm asking a simple question to you. There are two people who are sick. One person is taking medicine, one person is not taking medicine. Who will get cured first?
Yeah, so instantly that person get cured.
No, not instantly. Let's not avoid instantly. You are going on extreme ends here. I'm telling a simple thing. He is taking medicine. So there is a hope that he'll get cured sooner than the person who is not taking medicine. Isn't it?
Yes.
Right? So when I look at a person who is practicing spiritual life, he is any given day better than a person who is materialistic. Because someday he will get cured. At least he has started the process. He may not come to Satsang, but is hearing Hari Bhajan. But what is the hope of a materialistic person? He doesn't even know that he is deceased and he'll never get cured. You know what I'm saying? It's better to find a devotee who is struggling than a materialist who is enacting to be good. Right? There are so many materialistic people who they'll do donations, they will do all kinds of philanthropy outside. Within inside, they are filled with lust, filled with enjoying tendency. They'll never surrender to God, never go to temple, never serve anything to anyone. But when it comes to philanthropy and all, they'll do. But there is another person who has some bad qualities, but is coming to spiritual life, is trying to correct himself. Who is better? Who is better? Who is better, Arjuna or Duryodhana?
Yeah, Arjuna.
Right? Why? Because he is with Krishna. Both are doing war. Arjuna is also killing people. Duryodhana is also killing people. Externally, both are doing the same thing. But one person is following Krishna, one person is against Krishna. Big difference. Right? So when you see devotees struggling, Prabhuji and Mataji's, sometimes people come and ask me, Prabhuji is chanting for the last 30 years, still is behaving like that. So is it a problem with Hare Krishna mantra, or is the problem with him, or is application of that mantra? Tell me.
His association with the people.
Exactly, his association with people. He is chanting Hare Krishna, but he is not associating with devotees as much. Medicine works. Medicine works provided you follow the prescription. Right? Medicine works provided you follow the prescription. Going to doctor doesn't cure you. Following doctor's advice cures you. Isn't it? Same way, even people who come to spiritual life, Prabhuji, they have to follow the prescription. Like for example, I'm encouraging everybody in the group, Prabhuji's chant 16 rounds. Get to 16 rounds minimum. Start with 1, start with 2, start with 4, go to 8, go to 10, come to 16. Right? At certain point of time in this satsang, after say 3 years, we started in 2020. In 2023, I'm so sure some of you will be chanting 16 rounds. But some of you don't want to chant 16 rounds. Stubbornly, I'll say, ఏమొస్తుందండి చాంటింగ్ చేస్తే చాంటింగ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు అట్లనే బిహేవ్ చేస్తున్నారు, చేయని వాళ్ళు అలానే బిహేవ్ చేస్తున్నారు. Some of you will conclude like that. Tell me who will benefit in spiritual life? Who will develop the attitude of submissiveness and humbleness? The people who chant 16 rounds. Ultimately, I'm not saying the moment you chant 16 rounds, you'll become perfect. That's the beginning of your spiritual life. Meaning 2 hours in a day, You are chanting God's names with a prayer that Krishna, there are so many impurities in me, remove them. Please remove me, remove these impurities. I want to become a good devotee. That is the consciousness of a person who is chanting 16 rounds. Biggest thing that is doing is following the order of acharyas, that 16 rounds have to be chanted. This much time has to be given. So already one correction is done. Is what he's starting to follow the orders of seniors. Already one correction is done. Earlier he was not even doing that, but now he's following the orders of seniors. So a spiritual person struggling is any given day better than a material person who never started anything spiritual. You should understand that. And instead of seeing faults in spiritual people, which we see, very evidently you will see, Prabhuji. If you live with me in my house for 2 days, you will not come to satsang. So many faults you'll see in me. My wife knows what am I. My wife knows what am I. Right?
Sorry.
No, sorry. You're telling me something.
Yeah, one more question. So, I mean, we will not watch every person around us that we are interacting. So what they are doing at home, we don't know.
We don't know.
So if some incident, if we have seen and see that this, I mean, try to find some fault in his, and we don't know without knowing what he's practicing. So if we try to find fault with him, so is it a good or bad quality within us?
It's a bad quality, Prabhuji. It's definitely a bad quality, but doesn't mean that we don't see fault only. We can't be blind also, right? We can't be blind also. Somebody is doing fault. No, I will not see bad because it's bad. That is also not right. Right? So Prabhuji, understand, Chandra Prabhu and everybody, and including me, this applies to all of us. We see bad qualities in others, right? Doesn't mean that in 360-degree that person is like that. We can't conclude like that, right? In a certain instance, to our knowledge, he has behaved like that, right? You don't know what is going on in his life. You don't know what other things are influencing him to behave in certain way, right? For example, one person, he comes to a medical shop. You both are there in the medical shop. He comes and immediately shouts at the medical person, "Give me that medicine. Don't you understand? We are standing here in the line. Can't you see, that you have to give the medicine? I've given the money. How long will you make me wait? You have to give this." Now, is he a bad person or a good person?
Sometimes instantly we feel that it's a
bad person. But do you know that his mother is sitting in the car and she has to be immediately given some medicine, and apparently the time is running away? We don't know. We don't know the circumstances in which a person is. And do we know how he was brought up by his parents? We don't know. We don't know how he was brought up by his parents. We don't know what kind of other problems that person is facing in his life. We don't know, right? So Prabhuji, what we as devotees should do, let's talk about what we should do rather than going around this. What we should do is, when we see some bad quality in others, when we see some bad act done by others, immediately we should either try to control. If you think you have a role to play there, if you think the other person is ready, you can say, just calm down, things can be okay, let's leave it here, if that person is willing to. Otherwise, just keep calm and leave from that place, right? And maybe when you meet that person again, you see some good things in him, he will. Or the best thing to do is bring such person to satsang, or you be that satsang to that person, right? When you see some bad in others, you can be that good friend to that person in correcting that person. Instead of gossiping about that person in 10 places, I would rather help that person by being his true friend, right? So this is one way of doing it. See, Prabhupada gives a beautiful example of a housefly and a honeybee, right? So a housefly, nature of a housefly is, even if there is so many good things kept around it and something is rotten in between that, housefly will first go and sit on the rotten thing. It will not sit on anything good, right? That is the nature of a housefly. It will go and find the filthiest thing. Whereas a honeybee, bumblebee or honeybee, even if there is gutter, there is drainage going, and there is one flower in the drainage, it will go and pick that honey from that flower, right? So great people are those who want to see good in others and avoid the bad. They want to ignore the bad. They want to see that good Every person does something good. So you see that one good thing and then you fan that spark. You fan that, you encourage that person. Say, see, for example, this person who has behaved like that. I'm just giving an example. Don't take it that person, right? So next time I meet him, I'll say, Hare, you have such a great quality, Prabhuji. You hear bhajans every morning. Nobody else does that. You have that best quality. I think you are setting an example for everybody who's walking there, that they should also hear Hari Bhajan. Amazing, Prabhuji. So when you speak like that,
I'm surprised to hear such things about him, Prabhuji, because he was always so nice. Whenever he see me with a tilak, he admires me so much. And once he also saw me chanting, I was just going for a walk and chanting. Even that day, beta, at this age, what you're doing is really inspiration for a lot of people.
Yeah.
People like me, all those things to me actually.
So all I'm saying, Prabhuji and Mataji, is even among our satsang also, for example, why to speak of outside people, among our satsang also, is anyone perfect here? By the way, there is only one perfect person, and that person is Krishna. Right? He's the perfect person. Are we all perfect here? Anybody? I'm sure if some wife will lift the hand, husband will say no. Or the husband will lift the hand, wife will say no. Right? Or Chaitanya Prabhu, Krishna, you lift your hand, your daughter will say, no, I know you. Isn't it? Nobody is perfect. Nobody can be perfect. And nobody, do we want to be perfect? Yes. We all want to be perfect. That is there. But we're all struggling. Some anarthas are externally seen. Some anarthas are externally not visible. But you're struggling with it. One devotee, he came to me. I know him for many years, and he was coming to satsang for many years. And he came to me and he told something that he would never discuss anybody. He said, Prabhuji, I'm struggling with seeing some bad things in internet. I'm struggling with that. I can't overcome it. Please help me. And then I told, okay, Prabhu, you have to practice, doing some other activities and some positive activities. And now you tell me, should I throw him outside the satsang because he has those bad thoughts, or should he be in the satsang so he gets out of it? What do you do?
We should encourage him to get out.
Encourage him. Yeah, you should encourage him.
Associate more with devotees.
Everybody has so many things, Prabhuji. When we close the, outside you are Haribol, Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Hare Krishna, Anta Bane untadi. When you close that door and put that knob, you are a Ravanasura in the house. Who knows? Right? You can be somebody else. But how does that Ravanasura become Ram? How does that Ravanasura become Ram? He will become Ram when he spends time with Hanuman. Spend more time with Hanuman. Then he will get the qualities of Ram. Qualities of Hanuman. Isn't it? So everybody needs help. In fact, our satsang is a hospital where all patients have come. We are all patients, ICU patients. We all have diseased. So we want to be coming out of the disease. Nobody is perfect here. Right? In a hospital, we don't shout at patients. We encourage patients to come. Please come, please come, please come. Here is a medicine. Harinam, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Please come, please come. So if you're seeing faults, if you're seeing some devotees going through some struggles, we should just support them, encourage them, and be part of their journey to become a better person. And then that is the goal of satsang. Right? That is the goal of satsang. Goal of satsang is not to find faults within our own self and then say that, you don't. That's exactly what Brahmanas did. That's exactly what Brahmanas did. And that is the reason the whole caste system, so much division in society happened, because Brahmanas started rejecting others instead of correcting them. Right? How atheists are born? Nobody is atheist by nature. Everybody is a theist. Everybody is a devotee. But when the theists behave in such a fanatical way with atheists, then they become atheists. The Brahmana says, don't sit like this, don't touch me, don't do this, don't do that. He will say, Abba, Uddra Babu, no, I will not come to you. Because if I come to you, he'll say, no. Better than that, I will not come to you. A lot of people rejected religion because there are too many don'ts and do's. Isn't it? Too many don'ts. Don't. Okay. Prabhuji, you also tell no onion garlic, you also tell no non-vegetarian. Okay, Baba, no problem. Eat, but come to satsang. Right? You can do what you're doing, but come to satsang. When you come to satsang, there is a hope that someday you will leave it. But if you don't come to satsang, what is the hope? Right? So we have to understand the nature of people. And the same principles even work at office, Prabhuji. Not that satsang is like that. Even in office, we can't keep rejecting people. We can't keep removing people. We can't keep sacking people. We have to revive people. Don't remove people, revive people. If they're not fit for a certain role, put them into some other role. As long as they are properly trained on integrity and hard work, you should retain them. But these days, people are too impatient, even at workplace. I don't like this person, get rid of him. Right? Why to speak of it? Even married relationships. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. Finish. First fight, I don't want to see your face. Khatam. Over, let's sign the divorce papers. People, get divorced for silly reasons, for no reason. You press the toothpaste from the top, I press from bottom. Divorce. Toothpaste, from where to press. That's the difference. I'll not. You don't like eating ice cream, I like eating ice cream. Divorce. No reason. See, I'll give an example. One very wealthy family used to come to satsang once, in our satsang. Now also they're favorable. They are little busy now, so they're not coming. So their daughter was getting married. So this Mataji told me, speak to my daughter, Prabhuji. Before her marriages, guide her. Something like that, she told. And daughter was also good kind of a friend, so she came to me and she sat, and me and my wife were sitting, and she sat there and she was like, okay, Prabhuji, I'm getting married and please come to the marriage. The boy is like this. I asked her one simple question. Amma, if your husband is going to shout at you, or one day he'll become impatient and slap you, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Immediate reaction. How can he do that, Prabhuji? That's abuse. I'm not going to tolerate all this. Then I told her, you better don't get married. Better don't get married. I'm not telling that it's a license for the husband to behave like that. I'm not saying that. And if a wife also abuses the husband, he should also learn tolerance. He should understand we are people. We have to correct each other. We have to live with each other. We have to make each other work. Right? Because we are not coming from good backgrounds. You have to develop patience. You have to develop forgiveness. You have to develop some amount of humbleness. And then relationships will work. You don't say sorry because the opposite person is wrong. Or you are right. You don't say sorry because the opposite person is right and you are wrong. You say sorry because you care for the opposite person. You just care for the opposite person. So you say sorry. It's not a question of whether you are right or wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So that you care for the opposite person and to make things work. This is what should be taught to children. If you're not taught these things, then forget about devotion. Devotion is very high principle. You can't even maintain your material life properly. Right? And it is not being told. In my own relatives, there are hundreds of examples. I'll stop with this. My own relatives, one girl, she got one very wealthy family. Reddy's, some very wealthy family. He has like crores and crores of properties. I'm talking 20 years back incident, 20 years back, sometime in 98 or 97, something like that. Now, his daughter, he married her to some employee in UK. That person works in UK, in London, and he married his daughter. He has two daughters. He married her to him. And she's brought up very, in big wealth, she was brought up, the daughter. She went there, she got married to him. And that husband, after a few months of marriage, he told her that, I don't think I want to do job. I don't think I want to do job. Why don't we start a business? Why don't we start some, business of our own? Anyway, your father has so much influence and there is some investment also your father can do. Why don't you ask your father to invest and we will start some business. That's all he told. Immediately, what did the girl say? So you married me because of my wealth. Huh? You married me because my father has money. And now you're telling me to get that money from my father. And she immediately calls her father and tells that this fellow is asking money from me. What kind of person have you married me to? This is absolutely not acceptable. Even immediately, what did his father do? What did her father do? Odile, leave that fellow and come back. This is nonsense, you know. You don't have to live with a person who is asking for money from you. Come home. I'll take care of you. Your father can take care of you throughout your life. That girl is sitting in the house even after 20 years with that arrogance, frustrated in life, right? Her father is very old now, almost ready to get passed away. Complete life ruined, right? That boy, he got remarried again. He went on with his life. But what did arrogance do? What did arrogance do here? Tell me. Is the father telling the child when getting married that, Amma, if you get even one bit of discomfort in your in-laws, you tell me, I'll come and take you. Don't need to be married. If you send your daughter like that to another house, you think the marriage will last? Huh? How many feel your marriage will last if you tell your daughter like that? Or you go and tell your son, if she misbehaves with you, immediately leave her. Will the marriage last? No, it will not last. We have to develop patience. We have to make things work. That is what is a relationship. Nothing will come, ready-made to you. Right? Even after 20 years of marriage, me and my wife have so many fights and arguments and so many things, but we still make it work for a higher cause, for children, for God. We should make it work. This has to be taught to the society. This has to be taught to the children. You can keep seeing faults in others, but also see some good, na? You can also see some good. Right? That father could have understood that my son-in-law wants to do something different. Why don't I talk to him? He could have spoken to his son-in-law, saying, "Em babu, you want cheddam antno, business antno, what do you mean? What do you want? Let us discuss." No discussion. The daughter told, this fellow said no, that she came back from their divorce. Finish. That boy said family, we knew through some context that boy was literally, I didn't tell anything. I just told, let us try something, and immediately she got so angry. And it went into a different direction. Sometimes when you're angry, you say things more and more and more and more. And actually, it turns out to be completely different from where it started. Isn't it? Sometimes, when you're angry, you say one thing, he says one thing, another thing, it just grows up. So that's what happened. And what is the result of that? One good marriage got ruined. And her life is nowhere. Now she might feel, oh, I'm independent. I'm still going in my Audis and Mercedes Benz. But when she comes to her 50s and 60s, she needs a companion. What will she do? Where will she go? Her father will die. In another 4 or 5 years, her father will die. Mother will also die. Her sister is nicely settled. She will be in a certain place. And she will get a heart stroke. She will get a brain stroke. Who will take care of her? Who will support her in that situation? Right? People don't think all these things these days. They are like, I want immediate comfort, immediate this thing. So, Prabhuji and Mataji, what I want to, we can conclude this here, what I want to tell here is becoming spiritual devotee is a very high thing. First, we should become a good human being, right? Start somewhere. But that is possible also only when we are associating with good people, good devotees. We should associate. We should get into some services. Always find services which will keep both of you busy. Husband and wife totally are busy in that service. Then none of these things will matter. Small differences, nothing will matter. Right? You're busy. You're busy in something higher. Like we were discussing about developing that place, right, in front of Avatar that Maheshwar Prabhu is handling. It's a good thing. We all should get engaged into that. We all should put our effort. Focus is there. So tomorrow, wife and husband are arguing. Let's go there and first finish the Vrindavan. So you are just, you're busy. You're ignoring unnecessary things, useless things. You're keeping it aside. You're busy. When you're busy, half the trouble is taken care. When you're not busy, empty mind is, what is it? Empty brain is devil's workshop. Isn't it? Devil's workshop. You should have something to be engaged. Positive engagement is important rather than commenting on negative. Right? So we can find so many faults. So is it okay, Padma Mataji, Chandra Prabhu, and everybody else? Are we okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry if I spoke anything wrong. Please, don't forgive me. It's a sensitive topic. I myself have so many things. If you walk with me 2 rounds around Avatar, third round you'll not come. Hare Krishna. So how many of you are charged up to build a big Radha Krishna and Sitaram Hanuman temple opposite Avatar? Come on. Are you all charged up? Yes. See? So this is called positive engagement, right? We have land, we'll build a big temple, Hanuman temple, Ram temple, Sitaram Lakshman, Sita, Radha Krishna. Nicely, we'll have satsangs, we'll have our remaining rest of the life, we'll go around, making and happily serving Krishna. That's it. That is how we should plan our life. Little things. We should work according to our nature. We need a manager also. We need a administrator also. We need a executor also. Different roles are there. We need somebody to talk also. We need somebody to, serve also. Right?
Like how we did for Ram Mandir, we can go and knock every door and collect money, Prabhuji.
Yes.
At least we
Yes.
get 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees also.
Mataji, I'm telling you, when you inspire people, you get more than what you ask.
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's always the principle I've seen. Right? What we should do, we should serve. We should serve people in that place, any place. Right? We should conduct so many programs and distribute nice prashadam that people will run and come to that place. Every morning they'll run and come to that place, and they will come and pour, saying that, take it, please use it. We should not ask a single penny. When you ask, you only get what you ask, isn't it? But when you leave people, motivate them and leave them to give, people's hearts will come out. I'll tell you one example. In Houston, in Houston, so there was this Prabhuji, one person. He used to come for Mangalarti every day. He was a doctor. He was a doctor, Indian person in Houston, Texas. He was a doctor, and he was coming for Mangalarti every day. After that, he never spoke to any devotees. He would just attend Mangalarti, maybe chant few rounds and go to his hospital. That's all people knew about him. And like that, he did for 10 years. 10 years. He was coming every day Mangalarti. 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, he used to come. And then he used to go chant few rounds, and then he used to vanish. Festival time, other time, he was very busy. He was a doctor. He never came much. But every time he met devotees, he used to tell, oh, you people are doing very good service. That's all he used to tell. You people are doing very good service. Prabhuji and Mataji's, unfortunately, Krishna took him one day. He left his body. Lawyer comes to the temple and he says, a lawyer came to the temple after he died, and he read his will. He left $10 million for the temple. Can you believe it? $10 million. Nobody asked him a penny. Nobody asked him a penny. He used to come. There was a small temple, small ISKCON temple, Hare Krishna temple in Houston. They always had a dream, we should have a big temple. Right? But it takes time to build that kind of money and that kind of, see how Krishna planned. See what this devotee did. He used to come, attend Mangalarti, chant few rounds and go. And apparently he did not have anybody in life. He got divorced or never married. Nobody knows. Right? Whatever he earned, $10 million worth properties. Right? He just wrote in the name of temple. And he never told anybody. Never told anybody. And he died, out of something, untimely, he died. And this money came. Now, ISKCON Houston temple is one of the biggest temple in entire America. Every single penny was kept into developing the temple. And huge place they bought, land in between the city, and huge temple they built. And what a memorial. Right? There was one, I'll tell you one more example. In Pune. In Pune, one gentleman, he was serving Venkateshwar Swami DT. He had a Venkateshwar Swami Murti in his house, Sri Vaishnava. And he was serving for a lot of Yeah, Usha Mataji has gone to ISKCON Houston. She's writing a chat there, right? Yeah. So, so this person in Pune, he was serving a deity in his house, and he became very old. And I don't know the full story completely, but I'll tell what I heard. Maybe it needs more explanation. But this person, he was getting worried that who will take care of my deity after I die? Maybe his children were not as motivated to serve Lord Venkateswara Swami, or whatever it is, right? He was just getting worried, who will take care of my deity? This deity was established or there for many, long time. But who will take care of my deity? But he was in touch with some devotees, Hare Krishna devotees. They were coming to his house doing some bhajan. He used to go and participate. So he got to know, somehow he got in touch with them. And he never told these devotees anything. He never told, about his anxiety about the deity and all that. But he wrote a will. And after he died, I don't know after or before, I might be wrong on the story, but basically what he did, he gave a land around 5-6 acres of land in Pune. And he gave the deity, saying that, please take care of this deity. I'm giving you this land also. And Radhesham Prabhu, you know Radhesham Prabhu, right? The one who distributes Bhagavatams and comes and speaks. Wonderful devotee. He raised, how much money can you believe your ears? 100 crores. He raised 100 crores money. And amazing temple, NYCC ISKCON temple, is the biggest ISKCON temple in entire India after Mayapur. Huge temple. And there is a beautiful Venkateswara Swami temple right attached to the temple. You take Radha Krishna Darshan and then you go and take Venkateswara Swami temple. The deity is being served 7 times bhoga and amazing worship. And so many things happened on that land. And now that area, the prices have gone up like unbelievable. People have bought houses around it. There is a huge devotee community around the temple. More than 3,000 devotee families live around the temple. Can you believe it? 3,000. It's like
Where is the
Vaikuntha.
temple, Prabhuji? Sorry.
Called in Pune.
In Pune.
Pune has 2 temples: Radha Vrindavan Chandra temple, Radha Kunjvihari temple. Kunjvihari temple is old temple. That's a beautiful temple. And this one, NYCC, Vedic culture, Prabhuji and Madhi, you'll be surprised. 25,000 youth every single year are trained in the temple. Youth, engineers, doctors. They are becoming devotees at a very young age. None of them smoke, none of them drink. Everybody learns Bhagavad Gita end to end. And they also are IITians. They're also successful in their. And one such person is Krishna Sundar Prabhu. Remember, he comes to our satsang with his wife in dhoti. You seen that young couple? Recently, they started coming.
Yes.
Where do you think he got trained? In IIT Chennai. He also attended those camps. He became a devotee, and now he is a nice grahastha, right? He works in Bank of America. He chants 16 rounds. He's initiated. Me and he have the same Guru, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, right? See what one person could do. He just gave land. He said, take this land, develop it. Right? So, Prabhuji and Mataji, we all can do a lot, provided we have a higher goal. And Krishna will do the remaining. We don't think that we can do something. Krishna can do a lot of things. First thing what we should do is we should serve people there. We should serve people there. Meaning conduct programs, nice preaching programs, nice kirtan programs. Let people come. We don't want to go and ask money. Asking money is the cheapest thing to do. Because then people will say, chanda kosam vachara, donation. No, don't ask money. Do service. Do service. 6 months only serve. 1 year only serve. Then you see what will happen. Miracles will happen. People will come and pour their heart. They'll give, we want to do something here. So much service is happening. Then the temple will come up. See, building big temples is not a big thing. Maintaining them is the biggest thing. Maintaining them is the biggest thing. Right? And maintaining how? Regular activities, motivational programs, transformatory programs have to happen there. That is the most important thing. For that, we need a community, right? You are the pioneers of that community right now, right? And you will go and inspire another 100 people. In the next 5 years, this satsang will be 200 people, 300 people. And I will not be the only person speaking. You all will also have to speak, have to encourage more and more, right? And then that is the pillar for big, big temples. Then temples will come, huge, humongous temples will come. So we have to see positive and we have to encourage that positive, and we can't afford to see negative in each other. We can't afford to. One of the greatest things that we have to learn is Swayam Krishna. Krishna, when he comes as Jagannath, we did Jagannath Rath Yatra, remember? We did Jagannath Rath Yatra. Why Jagannath's eyes are so big? Does anyone know why Jagannath's eyes are so big? Of course, there is a pastime of Krishna, why his eyes are so big. But what do they signify? Why Jagannath's eyes are so big? Anybody?
Out of happiness.
Yes, out of happiness.
His
Mesmerizing.
own pastimes.
Yes, mesmerizing his own pastimes. But one very important thing, Prabhupada and Mother, never forget this. Jagannath is so merciful that he doesn't want to miss a single chance of seeing anything good anyone does. Anything good, even small good thing somebody does, he doesn't want to miss. So he keeps his eyes like this. He's searching. Anybody doing anything good, I want to see. And the moment anybody does anything wrong, immediately he'll close his eyes. I don't want to see anything bad. I want to see only good. That is why he's the most Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhava Tume. What does it mean? Oh merciful Lord, please glance that merciful glance on me. I'm fallen. I'm struggling in this material world. Give a glance. Look at me and deliver me. There is no other hope otherwise. There is no other hope. Right? So seeing good in others doesn't happen overnight, Prabhupada and Mataji. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just see good in others. You will first see bad only. Because we have been seeing bad for so many lives. So many lives we have been seeing bad. We will see bad. But what are you going to do after seeing that is your choice. You are going to abuse, comment, or do something bad to that person, or you're going to encourage that person to become good. That's in your hands. And the most difficult thing to do is do it in your own house. Outside you can be Karunamayi, but inside your own house, when you do it, then Krishna will be really happy with you. Right? When your husband does something wrong, wife does something wrong, child does something wrong, you tolerate it, patiently accept it, and then you practice it. Bhagavad Gita is, Krishna is saying, we just read the verses, act according to your nature. Right? Ultimately, to get that spiritual nature, we all have to be sincere in our sadhana. We all have to be sincere. And we all have to help each other. Right? We all have to help each other. Lot has to be done, Prabhupada and Matajis. And these gated communities that we are living in, we'll stop today's class. I wanted to finish third chapter, but that's okay. We'll finish next week. These gated Prabhujis and Matajis, Gachipoli, Telapur, Madhapur, this Pupalaguda, Narsingh, whatever you call these areas, the most rich people in the communities are coming to these areas. How many agree with this? Right? Lot of people are coming to these areas. Right? In another 5-6 years, you will see the whole rich class of the city, even from Banjara, some people are coming this side. They want to buy villas and they want to buy big flats and all that. Now, the remaining city is going to see this city and get influenced. Is that right or wrong? They'll get influenced. So we are going to be the leaders. We are going to be the leaders of this place. Leader means somebody who influences others. So we should develop good leaders. That is our responsibility. Why we are preaching Bhagavad Gita in Gachibowli, Madhapur? Because if people here become God conscious, then automatically those people will become God conscious. If people here start becoming knowledgeable in Bhagavad Gita, then people there will also become knowledgeable in Bhagavad Gita. We all have a role to play. Trust me. We all have a role to play. Somebody is an entrepreneur here, somebody is an employee here, somebody is a director here, somebody is so many roles you're playing. Somebody is a good housewife, somebody is a working housewife. Every role, we all will have to do our role to create good leaders in this society, in this part of Hyderabad, so that we can influence the entire Hyderabad. Right? Prabhupada went to America. He chose the capital of materialism. He chose the capital of materialism. He went there. And in America, he went to New York City, which is like the capital of, I'll say all kinds of filthy activities. And from there, he started ISKCON movement. And what did that do? That brought Krishna consciousness throughout the world. There are more than 1,000 temples around the world. 1,000 temples around the world. But did Prabhupada see bad in those people? If you hear the incidents of Prabhupada, what he went through in the beginning days, please buy this book, Prabhupada Lilamrita. Just buy the book. You'll be shocked to see what people used to. People used to come and throw things on Prabhupada when he's giving a lecture. People used to come naked into his class. Do you know that? Naked. They'll come without clothes and they'll come and stand like this in front of Prabhupada. People used to do all kinds of nonsense, shout at Prabhupada when he's giving a lecture. People used to not listen to him, just see here and there, do all kinds of things. But Prabhupada never stopped his preaching. And he never stopped serving them. How did he preach them? He used to cook for them. He used to make gulab jamun for them. A 70-year-old person cooking for 100 people every Sunday evening. 100 people. A 70-year-old person. In a city where he doesn't even know where to buy groceries. In a place where he did not even have a single penny, not a single money he had, Prabhupada. He would starve to keep some money aside from donations so he can make good prasadam for outsiders. That is Prabhupada. And that sacrifices has built a great society today around the world. Right? So only through service we can change this world. And we need good leaders. And you all are those leaders. We all can be those leaders, but leaders with a humble, servant leaders. We don't want to be a leader with servants. We want to be a servant leader. Servant leader concept is so popular now, even in corporate circles, how to be a servant leader. Meaning lead with example by serving others. Right? So I'll stop it here. I know the topic went in different directions. I don't know which words did I stop. Yeah, I stopped it. Okay. So Arjuna Vacha. Okay, different. Yeah. So this is a good section to get into next week. Here, Lord, beautiful. Oh my God. See the question here. Arjuna said, "O descendant of Vrishni, by what one is impelled to do sinful acts, even unwillingly, if engaged by force, as if engaged by force." So Arjuna asking the same question. Even though one person is practicing spiritual life, why is he doing some bad things? As if somebody is pushing him by force. Right? So let's hear the answer next week. Exactly apt to what we are discussing. Arjuna asked the question. Right? So we'll discuss next week. So any questions, comments, Prabhuji? I know I spoke a lot of things. There are many elders in the call, much more knowledgeable and mature than me. Please share what you have to say. Ramesh Prabhu, Raghavan Prabhu, Banu Prabhu, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Maheshwar Prabhu, Chandra Prabhu, Yogesh Prabhuji.
Yeah, all good, Prabhu. I have put one question.
Oh, you put a one question. Sorry. Prabhuji, I have one question on regulatory eating. During satsang, we forcefully serve devotees to eat more. Yes, that's the right thing. Yes. We should not do that. Ideally, we should not do that. We should not make them eat more. But let me also ask you, how many places are we being served? Wherever we go, we have to pick up our own thing and eat. The culture of serving is completely gone. But at least in satsang, we are learning how to serve people. Get up and Sir, Prabhuji, తీసుకోండి, Mataji, తీసుకోండి, serving. So it's a good thing. Encourage them. Eat a little more, but encourage them to serve. Okay, one meal and then next meal you can skip. Yeah, I'm not saying eating more is good. Even I am correcting my weight now. I've been eating a lot, too many satsangs. But yes.
The only thing is, so eating prasadam is good, but at the same way, if we control and give, like whoever want how much they want to eat instead of forcing,
Yes.
so it benefits both the ways. So they are eating prasadam in the same way they are controlling their diet also.
Yes.
And they have a healthy also. So that's
Correct.
the only thing that I was just want.
Yes, right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Prabhuji.
Some people, they feel like shy, and they take whatever they're, somebody is serving. So, but after eating, they feel bad that I ate so much.
Hare Krishna.
So that's the only reason few people, they cannot say that, they cannot say, no, I don't want.
No, sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you have to say no. It's not like the opposite person wouldn't listen. So the opposite person wants to give, especially when you're hosting a satsang, Prabhuji, please, at my home, eat more. The tendency is there out of love and out of, seva bhav. But sometimes you can tell no, Prabhuji, please try to understand. I'm not feeling well, or I cannot eat more than this. You can say that. Nothing wrong in saying it also. And sometimes out of shyness, if you can't say, then just fold the plate as quickly as you can.
And wasting prasadam is also not good.
Absolutely not good.
I've
Never
seen
waste
so many
prasadam.
people wasting it. So
should
that's
not
the reason
waste.
I am asking this question. Like, if you forcefully serve it, and people don't eat, and then they simply throw it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Never waste it. Don't serve excess, so the wastage doesn't happen. In fact, if you can't eat, just take it home. You can eat after some time, right? And if there is more prasadam left, we can give it to so many people who are looking for food. In fact, you won't believe, the security guards, even now in Krishi, where we came, every time my car goes by, they expect, when will this fellow stop and give prasadam? Because we have continuous satsangs are happening, and I'm giving them prasadam. So poor, they are really, actually, security guards, they have very, very difficult life. So when we give them something, it's a very good thing we are doing. The salaries are low, no time to properly cook, no time to properly eat, untimely life, night shifts. Give them good prasadam. They'll be very grateful. Yeah. There are so many things, Prabhuji, that we can, like last week I was saying, right? We can get rid of the plastic plates and come towards steel plates. We can do it, at least some more less burden to the planet by stopping those, plastic glasses.
So
Get rid of it.
Probably you won't believe. So I bought this box few weeks ago. I was getting this box in my bag, and I was not opening for 2-3 weeks. And my wife used to tell me, like, everybody look at you, you are bringing your own box. Then I was keeping inside it. So one day, then I thought, okay, I need to open it. Then only I open it.
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. A lot of people do that. Not only you. I have seen in New Vrindavan, one temple in America, where some devotees bring their own plate from home. They just bring their own plate.
Yeah, but there it is good. Like here, people look at in a different way. So
okay, let them look at. When I walk with dhoti and kurta, so many people look at me like an alien.
Yeah, but after that, I realized at one point I have to do it. So then I started using it.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong in walking. See, when sometimes I'm just telling, right? When I wear a dhoti and a kurta and I go outside, the other day I went to supermarket. One lady started looking at me like this, as if I'm an alien. I also looked at her like this, as she's a big deal. Yeah. People, they do what they do. We have to do what we have to do. They're like cool about it. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. As simple as that. You're not being disrespectful. You're not being disrespectful. You're being respectfully. You're bringing your dabba. You're eating in that, and you're taking what is left to your home. You're setting an example, and that might inspire somebody else to bring his own dabba, or maybe buy 50 dabbas for everybody in the satsang. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we'll end with the Narsimha Arati. Let's remember Narsimha Dev, who will bless us in our spiritual life and make us, progress in spiritual life. not seeing faults in each other, but as rather encouraging each other to do the right things. Hare Krishna. So who wants to sing? Narsingharti?
Prabhuji, Aditri wants to sing.
Yes. Go ahead. Haribol. So you have the Narsingharti words in front of you, or you want me to put it?
Can you share it?
Okay. So next week I'm not going to share it. I want you to buy art it. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Yes. Can you? No, not yet, right? Okay, I have to share my screen. Wait a second. I'll share my screen. Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladadayene.
Praladadayene.
Hiranyakashipo vakshaha.
Hiranyakashipo vakshaha.
Tilatankanakalaye. So Narsimho Parato Narsimho.
Narsimho Parato Narsimho.
Yato yato yami tato Narsimha.
Yato yami tato Narsimha.
Bahir Narsimho Hrudaye Narsimho.
Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha.
Narasimhadim Saranam Prapadye.
Narasinghamadin Sharanam Prapade.
Tava kara kamala varenakam adbhuta sringam Lalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam Keshavadita narahari rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Tava kamala varenakam adbhuta shringam Lalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam Keshavadrita narahari rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Narsimhadev, Narasimhadev, Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev.
Jayo Narasimhadev, 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 Jaya Narasimhadev.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Come on, learn saying this verse. Bhakti Vigna Nashika Narsingha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. Bhakti Vigna Nashika नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. So February 14th is coming. Are you all getting ready? Say what, Prabhuji? What is so special on February 14th?
Lovers Day.
Avatar. Amphitheater anniversary, Prabhuji.
Really? It was on February 14th?
I think so.
And Valentine's Day.
Not Valentine's. Nobody cares about Valentine's.
Prabhuji and Mataji, February 14th, His Holiness Chinnajir Swami Maharaj is installing the 1000th anniversary of Ramanujacharya statue, right? DT, not statue, DT, right? So once again, there is a lot of background. I'll have to, yeah. So February 14th is special because that's the appearance day of Srila Ramanujacharya, and it is also 1000th appearance day, and it is also the appearance day of Nityananda Prabhu, who is Swayam Balaram. In Gaur Nitai, when we say Krishna and Balaram, Nityananda Prabhu is also the appearance day, Balaram's appearance day. And Rama Anuja, right? Rama Anuja is another Balaram or Lakshman, the same thing, right? So, and it also is almost 1 year of we starting the Amphitheater Satsang. I think we started around Feb 7th or 8th, something like that. But we can mark it like that. It's okay, good reason to. And what else? Something else also was special. I'm forgetting that. Something else also was there. Anyway, when I remember it. So next coming, let's get prepared for that. I don't know if you all have contributed whatever you can or encouraged others to contribute for the big event that's happening. It's a very big day for all the Sanatan Dharma followers. It's a very big day, where in this country, where Sanatan Dharma was established, a great Acharya, His Holiness Chinnajir Swami Maharaj, is opening a big, massive temple with all the Divya Deshams, and such a big event. We should promote it. We should promote it. We should encourage everybody to go. And if you cannot go on that very same day, it's an event not of 1 day. I think it's an event of 3 days. You can go on one of the days and spread the videos, make them viral, let the whole world know what is happening in Vaishnava community and everything else that we are doing. Today, media is a tool, and it's also a great, weapon, so to say, to bring the right change in the society, right medium, if the weapon is not the right word, right? So let's use it and let's do it. And there are some brochures also sent. I think Prabhuji is holding one, Banu Prabhu is holding one brochure. So yes, that brochure you would have got. Yes. Prabhuji, you can share the soft copy in the group. Yeah. And once again, share. I think it's already shared, but you can share once again. So anybody, whatever little you can do, please do. These events don't happen many times in life, right? These are once in a lifetime kind of events. The Murti that is established, that is going to be established, is going to stay for thousands of years, right? And we are those rare people who are going to witness its installation, isn't it? Our generation, rare, that we are going to witness something like this. And many more are going to come like this in India, because now we have the right leaders, we have the right consciousness, and India is reviving itself for what it was, right? So let us do this in a big way and also celebrate Lord Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day. I'm going to discuss on that day, if possible, if we have time, or the previous Sunday, about who is Lord Nityananda Prabhu, about Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We have not heard much about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, many in the group. We will start discussing that on these special days, so you all can learn. So thank you very much. Please attend next satsang. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Have a great rest of the Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.